But what about choices? Do you see a more variety in terms of the kind of international events being held there?
I think what we have right now is more quantity than variety. That is certainly growing, but it's not growing as much as we would like to see. In a magazine, from month to month, from year to year, we tend to sort of can guess what sort of events will come down, and they're pretty much similar. I don't know whether it's because promoters don't take a risk and choosing something different and keep going for the same tried and tested formula, but if you look at it, that like places like the B, they have different indie acts coming out, and then when you go there, you see the halls are packed, and you realize that they do have markers for this kind of acts, but whether that's profitable or not, that's a different case altogether. But as KL, I think if you want to compete in an international level, we just need a wide variety so that you reach out to a bigger net, a bigger sea of people.
Okay. Do you think we're headed in the right direction as far as from a consumer's perspective? I mean, do you think the people out there think that, oh, you know what, it's KL getting more and more exciting as a destination, even for locals or for tourists alike?
I think even for the locals as well. And nowadays, of course, you got this whole invasion of K-pop, so you have K-pop, so you have a lot of Korean bands coming down. But if you look closely at what's happening in KL, you also see a lot of people bringing down Indonesian bands, which not happened a lot 5-6 years back. And these are really, really big ones that have popularity, like your White Shoes and your Mocha and your Malik and the Essentials. So you have the Chinese market, you have the Canton market, you have the English market. So
what do you think are the things that we can do to actually move us along on that path and that way?
Consistency. I think if you compare yourself to Singapore, the thing is, there seems to be show happening all the time in Singapore, and sometimes 2-3 shows are being promoted at once. Whereas when you see in KL, you see one big show comes, and then it drops and you get quiet for a while, and then another big one comes. Although there are small ones in between. But in terms of voice in the market, if you have a lot of shows happening at the same time, it becomes top of mind recall that, oh yeah, this place has a lot of events. And it comes to tourists, whenever they want to go somewhere, let's say, oh, I've got 5 days to spend. Oh, let's go to this place, let's check out whether this place has a lot of events happening. So it's again creating that top of mind, and we have lots of events happening at the same time. It becomes reliable, credible, and people think, oh, there's always events here, so I'll come here and check it out. So I think consistency would help quite a bit.
Do you have guys want to say about that?
I think, well, it would, I mean, we would definitely love to do events every week if we could, but unfortunately, again, the P&L doesn't work, and Malaysians' purchasing power is not as good as Singapore. I mean, it's not only the currency. A Singaporean can't exactly invest in 4 or 5 cars, 2-3 different properties. They don't have that. Where here, Malaysia, all new properties coming up all the time. People are putting their money there. Then you don't have money for entertainment. Whereas in Singapore, they've got a lot of money to spend. Luxury items, gigs, shows. They don't mind spending the money, and the currency is very strong. Here, it's not like that yet. A lot of my friends, if there are 3 or 4 shows, they will decide on one, and then they will join competitions for the others to see whether they can win it. And eventually, they will get their ticket that they won, and they would sell it, get the money.
So you're saying basically we don't have enough consumers essentially who are willing to pay for these?
Even though we got 28 million people, the people who are actually matured enough, let's say, in terms of, okay, you know what, I'm actually going to spend my money to go for a show or a concert, it's not that many compared to Singapore.
I think that brings me to the point where, you know, when why is Malaysia a perfect events hub? See, for us, the KPIs are to bring in as many tourists to Malaysia. And this is one of the things that we leverage on, because we're a value for money destination. You know, we have all the perfect elements in place. And for a Singaporean, I mean, our pricing of tickets are relatively cheap. I mean, for example, we did a survey last year for Jennifer Lopez. The most expensive Malaysian ticket was priced at 688. All our neighboring countries priced it above 1,000 ringgit. So with that, you can just see the influx of people coming down from our neighboring countries to Malaysia just for this. They would probably drive down, fly down, stay in a hotel, eat, go out, nightlife, watch a movie, and still spend cheaper than what they would probably spend in their country. Of course, the connectivity that Malaysia has, you know, center of Asia, right next to China, India, it's another thing that we look at the markets to come into Malaysia. And of course, I know that will not help in ticket sales because I totally understand why. Because a ticket that is sold in Malaysia for 1 ringgit is sold in Singapore for 1 ringgit. So these guys will probably say, why should I waste my money promoting in Singapore when I'm going to use more of my funds, whereas the tickets is still priced the same. Hence, here I come and give you the money to market overseas.